Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, it's part 2 of our spring 2022 updates. Well, as most of you know, every 6 months I like to revisit old shows and bring you a 2-part update series on the Tuesday episode of the show, talking about whether or not there's been changes, updates to the project. Did it have longevity? Do I still like the tool if it was a tool review, etc., etc. And that's what we're going to visit today. So without any further ado and any more talking, let's get into the first update. Well, today's first update is actually an update of an update. Last 6 months ago on the update series, I talked about my Wixey table saw digital fence readout, and I said that although I really like it, I was kind of disappointed that I had to continually reset the fence due to the fact that it kept jumping out of calibration. And at some point in time online, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I saw that somebody had contacted Wixey, and I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact them and see what the heck is going on. And I want to share with you the emails here today. So this was my email to the company. I hope this email finds you well. I purchased about a year ago off of Amazon the Wixey digital table saw fence readout. I've installed it on my SawStop professional cabinet saw, and I have to say that I'm a little disappointed in the amount of times that I have to recalibrate the unit in a day. In a 6 to 7 hour day in the shop, I have to recalibrate the gauge at least a dozen times, if not more. I am not moving my fence quickly, and it is quite often going out by 0.2, 0.4, or 0.6 inches. I was hoping for a little more reliability from this gauge. Is there something that can be done to keep this unit from going out of whack all the time? Is there something I should try to keep it calibrated? Surely this can't be the way that it's supposed to operate. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, A Cut Above Woodworkings. Now, they actually sent me back a reply quite quickly. I was surprised at how quickly it came. And it came from Barry Wixey, from Barry Wixey Development. And this is what he had to say about the digital gauge. Sorry to hear about the trouble. There are 2 things that could be happening. The most common issue is that the batteries are losing momentary contact. Remove them and clean the battery contacts and the battery ends with a pencil eraser and make sure that they fit really tightly. After you put them in, put a piece of tape across them to hold them together and keep them from moving. If this doesn't fix it, then there is a loose connection internally and you would need to replace the display. Now, from there he goes on to explain about their warranty and how I can go about replacing it if that's the problem. So this is what I did. I pulled my display off of the saw and I checked it, and the batteries are held in by springs. Now, the key words that I saw here in his email was that the batteries need to fit real tight. And those springs, I mean, you can pop those batteries around like crazy in there. It's not a very tight spring. Now, it may be an older version of this, I don't know, but this is what I have. So what I did was I took, you can't increase a spring. The tension on the spring is the tension on the spring. So I cleaned the contacts just like they said, and I took a couple of number 8 washers, flat washers. They're conductive. And I placed them at the end of the spring and then installed the batteries, thus increasing the tension on that spring by the space of those number 8 washers. From there, once I got that in, sure enough, I laid a piece of tape across them to hold them securely, closed it up. That was 3 weeks ago. To this day, 3 weeks later, I have not had to calibrate that unit, not once. And every so often what I'll do is I'll set it to some obscure measurement on the saw, check the readout, I'll push a piece through and then test it with my calipers. And for the past 3 weeks, it has been bang on every single time, every single cut, and I have never had to recalibrate. So the update is, I just want to pass on to you guys that if you are having this problem with this thing going out of whack, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, you may want to check your battery compartment, increase the pressure like what I've done here and what I just explained, and get a solid connection on those batteries so that you're not momentarily losing the contact and blowing your thing out of whack. It worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you. Now the next thing I want to touch on today is back in July of 2019, I made a show on how to make a maple table runner. And what it was essentially was squares of maple with holes drilled in it, and then they were joined together by little straps of leather with a silver bead in the middle. And it's a really nice looking centerpiece. It's a really nice looking table runner. I love the thing. However, it's been a few years, and what is happening, the update here is I don't think I made those leather straps quite long enough. Because when they went through the bead and curled down through the maple and came up back into the bead to glue in place, I don't think there was quite enough material to seat inside the bead to give a good firm connection. And what is happening over time with this thing being moved around, jostled, picked up, moved, fold it in half, put over here, put over there, those little leather straps are starting to separate. So they're going to let go eventually. Some of them already have, but they've held their form because they've been like it for so long. So if you are going to visit that show and try to make one of these for yourself, my suggestion would be elongate those little straps of leather and make sure that you have enough material there going through the bead and then folding back into it again to cross over and glue in securely so that you don't end up like what mine is right now and separating that little bit. Well, in January of 2021, I started a series on how to make a router table cabinet, and I made it in duplicate of my old one because my old one was such a wonderful design. And I've received some questions asking me if I still like the design. Now that I've done it for the Jessam, do I still like it? Do I still like the cabinet? Does it still hold all my stuff? How about the bit trays? That was one of the things I was asked about specifically, was the bit trays and how much I like them. I have to tell you, I love them. I absolutely do. My old router table, I had on those bit trays, I had handles, aluminum 3-inch handles. But on this one, I just put thumb pulls. The thumb pulls are much more streamlined. They're easy to use. Everything, it just functions. It's very functional. I think in the autumn updates of 2021, I did a dust collection update or an experiment from the router table, and you saw how well that worked, and nothing has changed. There is plenty of room for the storage, but it all depends as well on how much router equipment you have. I think I have in total 9 routers. And I mean, that's crazy. 9 routers. Who needs 9 routers? Me. So this thing holds all the accessories, all of the little shop-made jigs, all of my bits, and then some. The router bit trays are not even close to being full. Guys, if you are interested in making a router table cabinet for your router and router accessories, you can't go wrong with the one that I built on the show. This is my second version of it, and I've loved them both. I still love them both. Everything is just the way I would want it. And to answer your questions out there, yeah, I'm still very happy with it. Wouldn't change a thing. So for the 4th update of today's show, I want to talk again about the website just briefly. There was a section on there called Viewers Gallery, and up until just recently, it was blank. There was nothing in it. This is the reason. It's because I was waiting for the submissions. Guys, I've been receiving a lot of viewer submissions, a lot of viewer pictures, and they're all great. I love them all. Your guys' work is absolutely phenomenal. I'm really enjoying receiving these photos. So this is the process. I can't put them all on the website. I don't have unlimited space. And with the amount of photos that I'm getting, it's going to fill up pretty quickly. So this is what I've done. There is now viewer pictures on the website. And once a month, what I will do is I will collect all of the photos that have been sent to me through email, etc., and I choose five names. That's all I choose. Some viewers sent in 20, 30 photos. So when their name was chosen, I chose 2 or 3 of their pictures and put them on the website. I can't put them all. So all I did was, as soon as you send me an email with your photos, I put that in a separate folder and they sit there until the end of the month. And at the end of the month, I type out a little thing and I actually draw out little ballots, fold them up, put them into a little bowl, and my wife drew the 5 names for those who were going on the website. And then, if I had to, I contacted those people to make sure they were still cool with it, because some of them did have, say, a picture of their son or that sort of thing. And I was a little iffy on posting a child that was not one of my own on my website without permission. So I had to check with those people. But that is the process. The pictures are now there for the month of February, and there will be more added, of course. So if you are interested in getting some of your work on the website in the viewers gallery, guys, just send me the picture. Add a little write-up. I'd be happy to add it to your photo, a little explanation. What did you make it out of? How many hours? That sort of thing. If your work does not make the website, please don't think that I don't enjoy it or that I don't like it. Don't be discouraged. It's not that I don't want to put it there, it's that I can't physically have the room to put everybody's things there. So a random draw is the most fair way I can do it. So the update, the pictures are up there, guys. Go and check out some other people's work, because I'm telling you, you viewers out there, the viewers of my show are some of the most talented people on earth. You really do have skills. Love your work. Thanks for sending them in. Back in March of 2021, I brought you this. And this was making a shop-made glue-up station. And this thing has been phenomenal. It really has. Just a handy way to do your glue-ups where you can hold your brushes there and your glue is set there, that sort of thing. It's an awesome little project, and I would encourage you to make one for your shop. What's the update? Well, the update is not necessarily about the glue up station. The update is actually about what I use to spread the glue. So these acid brushes here are normally my go-to. It's normally what I use. They're cheap, they're basically disposable. I keep rinsing and cleaning them as I go, and eventually they get so ratty that I throw them out. I don't worry about it because they're dirt cheap. But I've recently started using these silicone brushes from Tight Bond. Now, they were kind of pricey, but I managed to get them on sale for about $5 a pop. So I bought 3 of them just to try. And I have to tell you, they are awesome. Absolutely incredible. They do a great job of spreading the glue evenly. They do a great job of holding the glue in the brush. They've got the opposite end that if you're having problems getting glue into a corner, you can push it into that corner or scrape it away from the corner if you need to. And the best part about all of it is when you're done with your glue up, put that brush aside and just let the glue harden. Let it completely harden. And when you're done, that hardened glue in there, because the brush is silicone, it just peels right out. Gives you like a brand new brush all over again without having to make that expense. So, I mean, honestly, these things go and go and go. As long as you take care of them, there's no need to ever buy another glue-up brush. So the update is not about the gluing station. The update is that these Tight Bond silicone glue brushes, you may want to consider these things, because honest to goodness, they have been awesome. Whoa. And they bounce. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've enjoyed the updates. These shows are a lot of fun. It gives me a chance to revisit old shows and to keep you, the viewer, informed as to things that have changed or things that I've updated. Safety concerns, longevity of projects, that sort of thing. So as I said on last week's show, if there's an update that you want to see, if there is something that you're curious about, if you watched a version or an episode of my show and you looked at it and thought, yeah, is that still the way you do it? Is that still the way you like it? Is that still working? Do you still like that tool? How did that project work out? Did it hold together? Did it break? It looked kind of flimsy. whatever you want to ask. If there's an update that you need or that you want, drop me a line down below in the comments section. You can send me an email at kennye@acutabovewoodworkings.com. I would be more than happy to contact you and give you the update that you're asking for. All you got to do is ask. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and then you won't miss things like future updates of the show. Guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I hope you were able to take something positive away from today's show. And more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesday.